So yeah, the studio had a lot of changes, so it's a little bit new in functioning, but we are figuring things out. So yeah, for today, we just plan to have some mindful musings and think about rituals maybe, yeah. So yeah, I'm building up a ritual or building up rituals, stacking up rituals on top of each other to make it grow into the perfect picture before the World Cup starts. So I'm happy with how far it all got proceeded. So some things coming in tomorrow, some things coming up later. I had one canceling, so I need to check that out next week. So yeah, what's the importance of um, rituals and to have a ritual way of life? It makes you more conscious in the now. And I think where people are talking about psychic warfare, brainwashing, MK Ultra, the umbrella, and all other psychic warfare programs, so to say, like the Russians are really far ahead already of the Americans. So this all works according to them, and some is revealed in the movie Eyes Wide Shut about a satanic Luciferian ritual. Um, People thinking of uh, Freemasonry involved, you know, more and more stories. But if you want to become more aware in the moment now, then you make the things that you do a ritual, even if it's doing the dishes or taking a shower. So when you become more aware about what you are doing and you have your focus on that, that's where you will find yourself in a position where you also can choose to use it to empower yourself. So, how can you empower yourself and also spiritually? So, in older times, we need to say, because yeah, if we say ancient times, you might travel far back, but you know, there is no need to generalize or to Let me see. Yeah, the translator gives the same word. Well, when you make everything common, it's also called generalize in English, I think, or the translator is not that good. But to generalize in general is also generalizing to something like that. So in Dutch we have two different words. So I don't know if it's, but yeah, to generalize is not needed. So stop. I want to talk to you about empowerment and about the things that I did research, practice in, and still do. So I never stopped the practice of my spirituality, in which, uh, so you are born into a religion. Okay, besides that. So, as a being, you become to be. So, as a being, you need to be. So, the first thing, going back to source, which is really powerful to empower yourself with, is to state, I am that I am. This is origin. So, with shapes and forms, words and sounds, your spirituality is given shape and form and sounds, which are all part of a ritual. A lot of people joining rituals without knowing that they are joining rituals. When you go to church, you join a ritual. When you go to the mosque, you join a ritual. When you go to the temple, you join a ritual. When you go to a ceremony, you join a ritual. It doesn't matter if it's a wedding ceremony, it's also a ritual. So, to understand the ritual or the ceremony, you need to understand that it's given shape and form. Let's say the shape to sit in. You sit in a circle around the campfire. The form are the dancers giving form, dancing around the campfire. So, karate and martial arts are rituals, some say to demonic entities. So, martial arts are war rituals, a ritual preparing you to go to war. And how is it given form? They give it form in a kata. They call it kata. That's the form. So the form is more how you use your physical body, either it's in dancing or in martial arts, or in the way like yoga, they also give different shapes and forms. Yes, forms, ways to put your body. How do you bow? How many times do you bow? So when you go to the origin of understanding rituals and how it's given shape and form, it starts with numbers, the word, and sound. That are the three. So the dancers are singing. The singing is the sound. The karate guy is saying Ki, word and sound. The steps or the combinations are the numbers. So to empower yourself is so much needed in 2026 that I'm going to live stream some rituals and also let Sue prove its existence and sort of say effectivity. So you start to move different within the matrix. So this is something um, that in future live streams I show the practice and the proof. So behind it is also physics and science proven, for example, the numbers by the mathematical formulas, like 1 plus 1 is 2. Science has revealed the different fields and spaces and time and vibrations and frequencies, but also the interlinks in between and the understanding that before they discovered it was unseen. Same with the Higgs boson. So, with ritual that I'm talking about, is not done in church, mosque, temple. No, also not at the Freemasons. There is one um, organization that could have similar occult, similar practice indeed, and also understanding. Therefore, you need to go to Japan. But other than that, there are only probably masters that can come to that understanding. So there will be a line of connection made first. So, first things first, and you do not start with yourself. And then you need to connect it with the fields and the machine code of this planet, of my planet. So, in a period where you had questions about how does it function or how does spirituality function? Well, spirituality functions for every human being, but also according to every human being, it functions differently or not. So the ones that do not practice, that will not see. Yes, and there are people that are spiritually blind, dumb, and deaf. So they will not experience it, and maybe it was not their life for them to experience it. So there is no need for me to point fingers, you can or you can't, but it gives me time to discern, okay, you are not a practitioner, you are not seeing, feeling it, then it's not meant for you. And some are practicing without result. And this all has to do with ego. So you do not do it for yourself. So on my planet, Earth, it's a service to others planet. So humanity will proceed and rise in service to others. That's the way up. So the elite indeed have a big problem. So the first thing also, because a human being is a spiritual being, every human being can practice their own spirituality, which is training your own spirit. And this, it's really important to straighten your spine, to have a straightened spine. If not, yeah, it's going to crush you, destroy you. No doubt about that. So if you know that you hand signs, the way you put your hands, if you do it from jujutsu, or it has all the similarities. Yes, so the shape and form depends on, let's say, the cult you are in. It's the same like boxing or Muay Thai or karate, they all have a different shape and form, but they are all practice of martial arts. Same as with ritual. So you understood the way people rise. Now, in the ritual, what I'm going to show, you start because the service to others, you need to practice to serve yourself. Not out of selfishness, but out of the understanding as sort of a role model, but also for a next step in your own future that you need to take care of yourself to be able to take care of others. You need to love yourself first before you can speak about loving others. Yes, if we do not have that understanding, then we are struggling in the rituals as we proceed, and it does not matter. This is why prayer fails, chanting fails, intentions fails, because they are not pure. Oh, yeah, you can have impure intentions. Like, oh, because I think that I'm going to do it, it works. That's the failure. That is telling me you didn't learn a thing or two, completely nothing. Yes, so you did not improve yourself. So many people are pointing fingers to others that they need to do this or that better, while they didn't improve one thing about themselves. That's how easy criticism works. But if I hold the mirror and I'm honestly to myself, then I know where I stand and I do not need to be greater or better than the one that is actually better and greater, for example, in playing football like Ronaldo or Messi. So they know it best, and we know that in football, it's also religion, it's also ritual. Now, pay attention, all these sports are, but a lot of people don't know that they are participating in a ritual and they don't know what's going to happen to them. But I can tell you that when it fails, people are going to get hurt because they start crying. So it's 2026, and I practice, and I know, for example, the practice of giving divine light to others or to my surroundings, which I can do at any time and any moment, and not the mouth of an arrogant man can change that. It only proves his arrogance and ignorance. And therefore, such man cannot talk to me anymore. So I enjoy the silence really, because now the ritual is going to be fun. But the ritual I do is an evolved ritual of existent rituals. So it's on top of it, and the layer of fields which you cannot see and you do not know anything about because you did not study it, you did not practice it, and you simply don't know about it, what I'm talking about. But trust me, if all the things and all the crazy things that has been given to me, has been told to me, and that you can put into practice, that's why I'm going to show it. To prove the existence first of Su source, and the effectivity. And also, for example, working with crystals, programming crystals like quartz. It's a part, even if it's stone, the energy, and I'm practicing with it intensively now a few days, a few weeks, maybe a few months this year actually. And energy wise, but also now the way I feel and the light is shining from my hands, anyways. But you look up, for example, and if you are new to it, you need to look up different sources. And you will know when you go look it up which source is the one that you understand and which source is the better one that you need to understand. So sometimes people write in different language about the same thing, but the way that you can accept it might be different. And you say, I know, this woman explained it better to me than that guy, maybe because you are female, or the other way around. Or maybe that woman better than that woman, or that guy than that guy, yes. But you studying about amethyst, the crystal amethyst, clear crystal quartz, and rose quartz. And these three are the golden triangle. So when you put those three together, you understand that in the middle a triangle shapes, and when light shines on a certain angle on it, it will create a golden light emitting from it. So it has a little writing. This stone is healing, it does this, it helps you grounding, it helps you with connecting with nature, it will make you feel less anxious. So, what's the stone telling you when you take it? And this is also when you have like many, like 20, 30 different stones in front of you to pick from, and you pick one, and then you go read about what is this stone doing, and then you go find the symbolism in yourself of understanding yourself. So pagans and shamans and ancient tribes, they all use these stones, and they give it meaning and origin and so much essence that, let's say, the stone is just a piece of paper on which is written. That only would already be so much for you to learn from if you only had the written text of that stone without the stone being present. So what I mean is, It is feeding the word, it is feeding your mind, and you can see and feel, maybe start to feel your own body. Hey, I'm hurt here. I'm disbalanced here. I'm okay. I'm not anxious. Why is this? So sometimes a crystal has many different things. So sometimes you are free from fear, like me, I'm free from fear. So I'm not anxious. But sometimes I have a stone which is also helping with anxiety. Well, I don't need that. But there are other portions of the stone, for example, amplifying your mental abilities or connection with nature or grounding properties. So, yes, also Shungite, it blocks EMF. So when you put things in perspective of numbers, word, sound, you give it the shape and form that I teach you, you participate in the ritual, and then you will see what which purification, because I do purification rituals, you receive and how you can empower yourself. And I can say, when you start in the morning and you follow the guidelines through, well, if you are not empowered within, and some might take really long, like 10 years, because they didn't understood the first word, and then, oh yeah, now I understand, okay, then you can start. So without the delay of 10 years, so when you get things and you are practicing, then really within 2 weeks, you will have your proof. And talking about it, it's like when you practice and in the way you practice, it's not always the same. So, for example, I put my hands together like in this shape before. I bow so many times, clap so many times, or not at all. Do this, do that, yes, this prayer, that chant, that, yes, etc., whatever you can think of. And you are raising your own frequency actually with it. And then on certain moments, you are maybe not practicing it in that way, but you are thinking about it. And you might go through hardship in which it is like, oh no, I actually cannot do it in this hardship, like I'm facing myself. And then you just do, you try and you focus on the ritual. Well, I'm feeling all right. I'm feeling okay. Actually, more amazing than uh, other people would do in my situation. They most likely would say that they would get crazy. But I think that all that light and your own situation of darkness is all part of the same you. It exists simultaneously in your moment now. So I could feel bad about it. Well, I cannot say I feel good about that, but I can say I feel good. I feel good. Tiddle-iddle-iddle-iddle. So in the future, I will show more in screen. I will put some text. The text and the word is needed in that plane. So you could, yeah, it's also reference. But anyways, so yeah, I invested everything I possibly could, I must say. Uh, I already had some positive feedback that it looks beautiful. It was not so much my thing to make it look beautiful, but the female might say it looked beautiful. The male would say, well, I like the mathematics of it. I like that shape, or and yeah. So it also includes the dragon blood stone. Just saying, just saying. But I think it's really difficult in these times to get through to people, um, to make the change in their life, and they are actually automatically in the satanic ritual in which their frequency is lowered by receiving money for spoiling your energy. Eh? So you spoil your energy for your boss, who is not going to do anything for you, and then you get a low level of energy money, which is all part of a ritual. But then you need to know, but you are partaking in it. So you have the small one that you do on your own, in which you know what you are doing, but you also have bigger one that you are participating in, and you have no clue about it. You're just running into buildings like you don't know what type of spirituality they practice there. And this is also with demonstrations, protests. And when you do not know what you are doing in the now, because you were talking about what you did yesterday and what you are going to do tomorrow, but you have no clue about now. That is where you are in a brainwash, completely useless for me. So you can go talk to somebody else. And if you think that as a spiritual divine being that you are, well, divine maybe not, but as a spiritual being human, in the age of being, yeah, you need to be. Yes, and you can be, you can't be and not know. but you can't know and be, something like that. Anyways, you need to be, therefore you are, and I am that I am. And it's about manifestation. So somebody asked me, how do things work? So I had the experience that, for example, prayer works, chanting works, giving divine light works. But the manifestation, when it becomes visible sound or feeling, that's a different thing within physics. So it's not like, okay, I'm going to send God a letter and this is what I want, and tomorrow it's going to happen. But sometimes it is, you send a letter, what you want, and it's happening. But when it is happening, that's a good question, and why it is happening. So with this ritual, I try to let something manifest with the proof and the explanation of it I need to produce. But when I say I need to produce, yes, of course I need to produce it because it did not happen yet, and we are talking now about the future and how we can influence the future. So some people, by time traveling, try to influence their future from the future, coming back, using it as an advantage. That is actually how they developed technology and science. So they build something now, like a core idea, they build it, then they time travel it to the future, build that same principle with everything that they had 10 years in advance. Yes? They add to it and return to the current time, the now, with the 10 years up front. And then they develop it more quicker. But this is a top secret. Do not talk about it or something. But yeah, that's what they did. I forgot which thing they did it. I believe I'm not sure which type of thing, but something they were developing some type of machine, but I do not. I forgot which one. So at least the ritual is important to manifest things. So if you would go one on one, then things manifest in word, sound, and number within the physical realm. And otherwise, when it's physical, it's matter. So the matter is already here on this physical planet. So when you understand that you need to have a straightened spine, you need to have a frequency, you do the ritual for manifesting what? I'm trying to prove that when it's according to Sue, it will manifest in a certain way with a straightened spine, and you go according the line, you know. And if that is not good, then you know the outcome will be different. So certain things are definitely needed uh, within spirituality of your own consciousness to make it happen. On the other hand, all it needs, you could say, is physics. So you give shape and form to the physics, and you will come as close as the shaman that gives shape and form to the physics of his ritual. But the reason why it's not happened, that is why you are on a certain level. If you are not on a certain level, you need to grow to that level. And therefore, there are people like me, not so many, that can guide you. So do with it what you want. I am going to continue. My ritual for today was indeed with the dragon blood stone and the clear quartz stone. And I don't know, but since yesterday and today I have purifications, but I feel my spirit enlightened, like my spiritual body is full of light. And I'm clearing out probably a lot of toxins. Um, so, yeah, we will see. We will see. So, yeah, I'm definitely, I must say, the dragon bloodstone is, um, I think you need to be a little bit powerful to work with that one. It's a heavy. It's different. It's different than rose quartz, amethyst quartz, clear quartz, smoky quartz, or shaman quartz. So it's a little bit different than that. Really more dense. It's more strong, I think, for some kind of reason. Or more strong is maybe a different, but it has a lot of um, strength. And then, of course, we have the Tsugi that educates the soft hand. So we have educative tools. And most of this, so this ritual is also of a higher level of civilization. And I think I leave it with that, or else I sound too much as a lunatic. But, anyways, it is what it is. Have a nice evening.